Good day, friends. It's your buddy Mikey Glove Save with Friday WNBA picks for that ass. Your bloodied, bruised, beaten down ass. Yes, we have had some bad luck this week. And you're probably thinking, Mikey Glove Save, why are you smiling right now? Aren't you a little worried that people aren't going to want to follow you because you're getting your butt kicked right now? And the answer is no. Mikey Glove Save doesn't hit the panic button. We all go through hot streaks, cold streaks, lukewarm streaks, however you want to reference it. Let Mikey Glove Save tell you a story. You see, Mikey Glove Save used to be a baseball player. Yes, he was once Mikey Longball. And he had a homie that was getting scouted. And the scout shows up to watch my buddy play, and my homie didn't do too well that day. So he goes up to the scout after the game and was like, hey man, sorry I didn't perform for you today. I knew you came to see me play. And the scout said, I don't care about that. He said, I knew you could play. That's why I'm here. I wanted to see how you handled it when you couldn't play well. You see what I'm saying? Mikey Glove Save is ready for action, and we're going to turn this around tonight. I hope. I really like these plays. We got some really, really good price discrepancies finally, too. So we'll see how this goes. Starting off with the Dallas versus Atlanta game, Mikey Glove Save has Alicia Gray over 3.5 assists plus 110 on Caesars. We are getting a small 5-cent price advantage on this as well. 20% hit rate in the last 5 games, 40% hit rate in the last 10. And you're thinking, Mikey Glove Save, so you said over, you meant the under, right? No, Daddy said over, and I'm going to tell you why. She's cleared this in 2 of 3 games versus Dallas so far this year with 6 assists, 7 assists, and 1 assist. Well, the game with 1 assist was with Jordan Canada, and you know who's not playing tonight? Jordan Canada. Plus, Dallas has more injuries than Tommy Lee has groupies. Even when Dallas is healthy, they're 13th out of 13 teams in giving up assists to guards. Daddy's rolling with Alicia Gray over 3.5 assists plus 110 on Caesars. And Paige Beckers. Remember when y'all thought I was crazy for taking her under after she had that 44 PRA game and Mikey Glove Save ended up being right, unlike he has been so far this week? Well, Mikey Glove Save is taking her under again. Paige Beckers under 18.5 points. All the sports books have her at 17.5, but FanDuel has her at 18.5 at minus 128. However, Mikey Glove Save utilized that nice profit boost they gave us today, and I got it down to plus 102. 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, 50 in the last 10, and Atlanta is first in preventing points to guards. Beckers is 0 for 2 this season in clearing this line versus Atlanta so far, with 11 points in one game and 12 in the other. And her overall hit rate changes significantly with all these injuries on the Dallas injury list right now. She is questionable for this evening, so we don't even know if she's going to play, but if she does, Daddy likey. Brianna Jones over 11.5 points, minus 114 on FanDuel, 60% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games. She's 2 for 3 clearing this line with Dallas this year, and the only one that she missed was by 1 point back in May. She's 5-1 overall clearing this line in the past 2 seasons versus Dallas. And that one game that I mentioned that she didn't hit it was with Jordan Canada out of the lineup. And you know who's not in the lineup tonight? Jordan Canada. Then the last game versus Dallas was July 30th, and she cleared this line handsomely without Jordan Canada. Overall hit rate improves significantly without Ms. Canada. Dallas is 12th in giving up points to forwards. Plus, we have all those Dallas injuries. Brianna Jones, over 11.5 points, minus 114 on FanDuel. And let's stay on our friend Brianna for just a moment here. Daddy's going to take an educated swing for a half unit, double, plus 900 on FanDuel, down from plus 950. Obviously, I think she's going to clear her point line, so we don't need to talk about that any further. But let's take a look at her rebounds, if you will. She has put up double digits in this category, 7 out of the last 15 games, and out of 2 of the ones that she missed, she only barely missed with 9. Now, the highest one being versus Dallas back in May. She had 15 rebounds. Now, that game was without Jordan Canada, who's also out tonight for Atlanta. And let's take a look at the Dallas injuries. Remember how I said they had a very extensive injury list tonight? Well, that game was without Geiselsoder, who is out tonight, without Quinterly, who is out tonight, and Leroux, who is also out tonight. Are we set up for a replay? We shall see. Brianna Jones, half unit, plus 900, double on FanDuel. Ryan Howard, over 2.5 3-pointers, plus 105 on DraftKings. We all know she's a 3-point nuke-dropping bomber. and she gets buttloads of attempts. So let's take a look at what she did last time they played Dallas this year. She hit 5 3-pointers out of 13 attempts, and that was without Geisel Soder and Tasha Harris, who are both out tonight. On top of that, we have Meeeee and Enrique out tonight as well. So who knows what kind of damage she's going to do. I think this is going to get freaky. Ryan Howard over 2.5 3-pointers plus 105 on DraftKings. Okay, this next one is one of my favorite plays of the day, which means, by the way this week's been going, it's probably going to lose. But it's a good play. Meeeee Segrist under 15.5 points. Minus 105 on DraftKings. We are getting a 5 to 15 cent price advantage here when you compare it to the other sports books. And FanDuel has this at 14.5. I really like under 15.5 here, and I'm going to tell you why. Not only does she have a 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, 30% in the last 10, and 20 in the last 15. But let's take a look at her hit rate with all of these injuries, shall we? Now, one would think that with all these injuries, it would mean more action for Meeeee, right? And that she would go in there and kick some booty and all that stuff, right? Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's see what happens here when we take Geisel Soder out of here. Like I said, 20% hit rate in the last 15 games. Without Louisa, 0% hit rate. Let's take out Quinterly, 7% hit rate. Let's take out Enrique, 44% hit rate. A little better. Let's take out Meeeee, 13% hit rate. Let's take out Tasha Harris, and that stays at 20% hit rate. Not very good without these individuals in the lineup, which tells me that she needs these individuals to help her get to the hoop. She has never cleared this line versus Atlanta in history. Meeeee Segrist under 15.5 points, minus 105 on DraftKings. And on to Indiana versus Los Angeles. My girl, Rickea Jackson. She has been sinking some threes. Now, we are getting a killer price advantage on this. Check this out. I'm going to take her 3+ 3-point prop. The 1.5, which we've been killing it lately, is juiced anywhere up from minus 150 to minus 160 now. But we'll include that in our Landmaster BSGP later. 3.5 3-pointers plus 225 on BetMGM. All the other sports books have this at plus 170 to plus 190. Now check this out. If we take her 3+ 3-point props, the hit rate for that is 80% in the last 5 games and 60 in the last 10. Now, if you just take a look at her stats, I needn't say more on this subject. Rickea Jackson, 3+ 3-pointers, plus 225 on BetMGM. Just keep in mind that she is day-to-day, so I'm trying not to get too excited about this one. And we're sticking with my girl Rickea for this next one too. Rickea Jackson, over 16.5 points, plus 102 on FanDuel. No idea how this one's at plus money. 60% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games. And with those games that she hit this, she cleared it by quite a healthy margin. She just had 21 points versus Phoenix in her last game. And earlier in August, when they played Indiana, she totally smoked this line with 25. And that was without Caitlin Clark, who was out tonight, and with Sophie, I miss you, Sophie, Colson, and McDonald. But all 3 of them are out tonight, too. Rickea Jackson, hope you play tonight, over 16.5 points, plus 102 on FanDuel. De'Arica Hanby, one of my favorite rebound machines, over 7.5 rebounds. Plus 125 on Fanatics. We are getting a superior price advantage with this one. It's plus 100 on DK, plus 110 on FanDuel, and plus 115 on BetMGM, and plus 110 on Caesars. 80% hit rate in the last 5 games, but only 50% in the last 10. 0 for 3 hitting this versus Indiana this year. But I've been watching her, and if you've been watching her, she has been quite feisty under those boards. Now, Indiana is second in preventing rebounds to forwards. But you know what I'm going to say. I don't give up! And Kelsey Plum has been very good to us with her point prop, but she hasn't been hitting 3-pointers. And now her 2.5 3-point under is at a buyable price at minus 140 on DraftKings. So I snagged that sumbitch up. 20% hit rate in the last 5 games, 40% in the last 10 games. And if you've been watching her, I don't know, just Mikey Glovesay feels like she's just been a little over aggressive lately. I mean, she's taken the ball to the hole and she's been cashing in on those, but she's just been throwing up some low percentage 3-point bombs, and I'm just not feeling it. On top of that, Indiana is second in preventing 3-pointers to guards. Daddy's rolling with Kelsey Plum under 2.5 3-pointers, -140 on DraftKings. And for my least favorite play of the day, Julie Allemand, over 6.5 assists. Well, Mikey Glovesay, if you don't like the play, why bother taking it? Well, Mikey Glovesay has learned to take advantage of price discrepancies, and we have one here. Plus 122 on FanDuel. It's -110 on DraftKings and -102 on Pinnacle. Now, I know that when it comes to player props, FanDuel is the sharper of the books, but I mean, do I have a choice? You have to take this at that price. Plus 122, Julie Allemand over 6.5 assists on FanDuel. And how about a money line? I know you all like a money line. Daddy's rolling with the Sparks money line -130 on BetMGM. We are getting a small 5-cent price discrepancy when you compare this to Pinnacle, but Sparks are looking to battle for that last playoff spot. Indiana's beat up. I really like this for them. Sparks money line -130 BetMGM. And for the Landmaster B SGP, yes, that's a new category we're going to start here, only if I find something that's worthy of an SGP. For my homie Landmaster B, we have Rakia Jackson over 1.5 3-pointers, Kelsey Mitchell over 1.5 3-pointers, Kelsey Plum 15+ points, plus 139 on FanDuel. And that does it for this Friday edition of WNBA Picks for That Ass with your buddy Mikey Glovesay. I'd love for us to end the week on a good note here to get some momentum going into next week. I really like a lot of these prices, and I really like a lot of these plays. So, sportsbook gods, throw Mikey Glovesay and his disciples, the DOG, a bone tonight. Thank you and good day.